Hello and welcome to this quick little Windows Server tutorial where I'm going to show you how to deploy Windows 11 using WDS. So there's a way to do it by using a Windows 10 boot.wim and then just installing a Windows 11 install.wim using the Windows 10 boot.wim. So normally it was recommended that you had to use the same version. So for example, Windows 10 22H2 boot.wim would only work with Windows 11 22H2 install.wim. But I did a little bit of testing, and if you use the Windows 10 22H2 boot.wim with the new Windows 11 23H2 install.wim, it still works. So you can install the latest version of Windows 11 using WDS. So I'll show you that now. So first thing, I've got my DNS and my AD already sorted. If you don't know how to do that, there's quite a lot of videos online. I might make some, but yeah. So I've got a static IP in my domain and stuff like that. But I do need to install WDS, so that's the first thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to Manage, Add Roles and Features, click Next, Role-based or feature-based installation, click Next. I want to make sure my server is selected, so select server from server pool, next. And then on this page I want to go down to the bottom and check the box where it says Windows Deployment Services, and then this box will come up and tell you to add features. We want to add these features as well, and then click next. We don't want to add anything here, so that's fine, click next. This is just a bunch of reading, next. And then these we want to make sure are ticked, so they're ticked by default anyway, so that's fine. Next, and then we don't want to tick that, that's fine. But now we just want to install WDS. So this takes about 5-10 minutes or so, and then once we've done this, we can configure it. So we'll start the installation now. Okay, so our WDS server has installed successfully, so we're going to hit close on here. And then we want to configure the server now, so we need to go up here to Tools, go all the way down to Windows Deployment Services, and then that will open WDS in this window here. So in here you can click the drop down box and it will show you your server, but it will have a little warning next to it, and that's because we need to configure it. So we're going to right click, configure server, we'll click next on this bit. You can either do it as a standalone server or integrate it with Active Directory. I have AD, so I'm going to integrate it with AD, so we're going to click next. And this is where all the, as it says here, boot images, install images, PXE boot files and everything will be stored. You normally want to have this on a separate data drive, but for the purposes of this video it's a test lab environment, so I'm just going to install it locally onto my C drive, which is not recommended. If I click next, there is also a warning that tells you it's not recommended, but it's fine. So with this, what I'm going to do is click respond to all client computers, because we want to do that for the purposes of the video. You can obviously, if you want to make your network secure as possible, you can do require administration approval for unknown computers. And then you can also do respond only to known client computers. Don't respond to any client computers. It's kind of useless for what we're doing right now. But yeah, we'll select this one and then click next, and then that will configure our WDS server. Okay, so now that's done, I'm going to uncheck this box that says add images to server now, because we're going to do that manually. And then I'm going to hit finish. So now it's configured. We've got all these folders: install images, boot images, pending devices, transmissions, and drivers and stuff like that. So all we really need to focus on is install images and boot images. So firstly, what you need to do if you haven't already is download your ISOs. So in my case, I'm going to be using the Windows 10 22H2 boot.wim to install my Windows 11 23H2 install.wim. So, to make it easier, what we normally do is just mount the drive. So that will mount it onto your computer. So that's my D drive now. And then the files are in sources. So we want the boot.wim. So if I press B, you'll see the boot.wim is here. We'll exit out of that for the minute because we want to go to boot images, right click, add boot image, browse, and then go to our drive here, and then sources, and then boot.wim, and then we'll open that. So we'll hit next, and we want to rename this to, I don't know, Windows 10 boot. It's fine for my purposes, and then we'll click next, and then we'll click next. So that will then add the boot image to our server. It does it pretty quick, to be fair, so that's quite nice. And then we'll hit finish. So now we have a Windows 10 boot.wim, which is what we're going to use to install our Windows 11. So what we can then do is we can come over here and unmount this, to be fair. Just clear up some space. We'll go back to our Windows 11 and then we'll mount this. So Windows 11 luckily comes with the install.wim. Windows 10, when you mount it, it doesn't come with install.wim, it comes with install.esd. I'll do a separate video on how to do that. You just have to use DISM to convert it from an ESD to a WIM. There's tutorials out there on how to do that, but yeah. So same again, sources, but we want the install .wim, which is right here for Windows 11. So again, we'll exit out of that. We'll go to install images, right click. We're going to add install image, and then we're going to create a group name with it as well. So we're going to call this Windows 11 Pro. Next, browse, and then we're going to go to where our sources file is, sources folder, and then we're going to select install.wim, and then next. So you're probably going to get a lot of versions pop up, but we obviously only want Windows 11 Pro. So we'll uncheck all of these, uncheck that as well. So we've just got this one selected. So then we'll click next. Image name Windows 11 Pro, Windows 11 Pro, that's fine. And then we'll click next and next. So that will then add our Windows 11 Pro image to our WDS. Okay, perfect. So now we've got our boot images, we've got Windows 10 boot, and then in our install images we've got Windows 11 Pro. So what we want to do now is I'm going to PXE boot from the network and we'll see if we can install Windows 11 Pro. So I've got a separate computer down here that's plugged into the network, so I'm going to transfer over to that computer now. So here I've got my laptop, which is connected to a switch, which is also connected to my server, which just lives up there. So we're gonna turn this laptop on and we're gonna boot from the network and launch into our WDS server. So PCIe LAN, and that will start PXE over IPv4, and that's our server. And then it will automatically grab the Windows 10 boot.wim. So because it's the only boot.wim image on the server, it normally comes up with options, but it will just automatically go straight into it for you. So now we're in the normal WDS boot image. So I'm gonna log in with my credentials quickly, just like so. And then here we can see we have the Windows 11 Pro image that we can now just install straight to our device. So I'll remove some of these partitions here, and then I'll install it to this one because I know that's my NVMe. And then we'll wait for that to install. And that should now be installing Windows 11 23H2. I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot to record an outro for this video. So I made a part 2, which will be released after this video, of how to sysprep and capture the Windows 11 image that we've just made, and add applications and stuff like that. So yeah, that will be in the next video. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the future. Bye.